Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Middle Ages channel. When you hear the word princess, what comes to mind? A beautiful girl in a shimmering gown, living in a fairy tale castle, waiting for her charming prince? Well, today we're going to pull back the velvet curtain and see what life was really like for a princess during the Middle Ages. Spoiler alert, it wasn't all glass slippers and happily ever after. In fact, it was often a life of strict duty, political maneuvering, and very little personal freedom. From the moment she was born, a princess was a political asset. Her value wasn't in her personality or her dreams, but in the powerful alliances her marriage could create. Education for a princess was very different from her brothers. While a prince learned warfare, statecraft, and how to rule, a princess's curriculum was designed to make her a desirable bride and an effective queen consort. She would learn to read and write, often in Latin and other languages, not for personal enrichment, but to handle diplomatic correspondence. She'd master music, embroidery, and dancing, skills to entertain a royal court and demonstrate her refined upbringing. Most importantly, she was taught piety, obedience, and how to manage a large household, because one day she would be responsible for running a castle of her own. Her every move was scrutinized, her behavior a reflection of her entire family's honor. A princess's childhood was short. Betrothals were often arranged when she was just a toddler. These weren't romantic proposals, they were cold, calculated treaties between kingdoms. A marriage could end a war, secure a border, or create a powerful new bloc of allies. The princess herself had absolutely no say in the matter. She might be sent to her future husband's court as a child to be raised in their customs. A lonely and often frightening experience far from her family. Imagine being 5 or 6 years old and being told you're going to marry a man you've never met and then being shipped off to a foreign land where you don't even speak the language. This was the reality for many royal girls. Marriage usually took place as soon as she was of childbearing age, typically around 14 or 15. Her primary duty as a wife was simple and brutally clear. Produce a male heir. Her entire worth and security at her new court depended on it. The pressure was immense. If she failed to produce a son, she could be cast aside, her marriage annulled, and the political alliance she represented would crumble. Childbirth itself was incredibly dangerous. Without modern medicine, many women, princesses included, died from complications or infections. A successful birth was a moment of national celebration, but the princess's job was far from over. She was expected to produce more children, more spares to secure the dynasty. Life at court was a gilded cage. While she wore fine silks and ate from golden plates, a princess lived under constant surveillance. She was surrounded by ladies-in-waiting who were both her companions and her spies, reporting her every word and action back to the king or other powerful figures. Privacy was a luxury she simply didn't have. Her movements were restricted, and her friendships were often politically motivated. She had to navigate a treacherous world of courtly intrigue, where a misspoken word could be twisted and used against her. She had to be a skilled diplomat in her own right, building relationships and managing the delicate egos of powerful nobles, all while maintaining a flawless public image of grace and piety. But don't think princesses were merely passive pawns. Many learned to wield power from behind the scenes. As a queen consort, a princess could be a trusted advisor to her husband, the king. If he was away at war, she might act as regent, ruling the kingdom in his stead. Women like Eleanor of Aquitaine or Isabella of Castile were formidable political forces who shaped the course of European history. They used their intelligence, education, and social skills to influence policy, manage vast estates, and even lead armies. They understood that their position, while restrictive, also gave them a unique platform. They could act as patrons of the arts and religion, founding monasteries and commissioning great works, leaving a lasting legacy that went far beyond the birthing bed. Their daily routine was highly structured. A princess would start her day with morning prayers, followed by mass. After a simple breakfast, her day would be filled with lessons, overseeing household accounts, meeting with officials, or engaging in leisure activities like embroidery or playing music, which were really just extensions of her courtly duties. Even hunting or falconry, while a break from the castle walls, were formal public events. The evening would bring more prayers, a formal dinner, and perhaps some entertainment in the great hall before retiring. It was a life of endless ritual and public performance. So, what about love? Did these princesses ever find happiness? The concept of marrying for love was largely alien to the medieval aristocracy. A marriage was a contract. However, that doesn't mean affection couldn't grow over time. Some arranged marriages did blossom into partnerships of mutual respect and even deep love. But for many, marriage was a duty to be endured. A princess was expected to be faithful to her husband, but kings and princes were rarely held to the same standard. They openly kept mistresses, and the princess was expected to look the other way, maintaining her dignity in the face of public humiliation. Her happiness was secondary to the stability of the realm. The life of a medieval princess was a paradox. She was simultaneously one of the most privileged and most constrained individuals in her society. She was wrapped in luxury but stripped of choice. She was an object of admiration but also a political tool. It was a life that required immense strength, intelligence, and resilience. They weren't waiting in towers for a rescue. They were navigating a complex and dangerous world, using the limited tools they had to survive, to build power, and to leave their mark on history. The fairy tale princess is a beautiful myth, but the real historical princess is a far more fascinating and powerful figure. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the past. If you found this interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Middle Ages for more deep dives into this incredible era. Let us know in the comments which medieval topic you'd like us to explore next. See you next time.